le lila pilamayala na kung kili radio kile le KILI storytelling kapi woyake na le napeti yamne chan nazashkashka zapta nazashkashka shakpe ha вечерш на войнах вояке можоблак на кун войнах наиш на кун ой ха на кун ойня le lakota ya pikile akata chale le oya chat ha chakto pi oya heo ilanche le pikile cha chat ha le hipi na konji seminua jahel wanspechake atahektiwahi atoksale umran wolaka chat ilustna kihina kichilo takuku lina yonkiat atona na hopta makana na lila pilaya na kunla hanna chakuru na khiyarana chich so taomane polila petuaste na kitala khate kia tali hasheto khash sa yok piaglapo le makhpiat khakpe nachab ona lechta tukhan le lonspe le lakhota ya pikle le semino hitchhikchi wala واش لتخاص ولا كان سببت كون يهاهي صاحب الوقت كنا نكون كوانيت وباينه لوس كنا نعمل مكان خانتا كوهيرو نبلاكا ستوك ساينا نكون يناي تا انا غبطان كابنا تكتك تخانشي وچا تخانشي انا غبطان مكان تلوا بيتنجاشتي هاي انا كوغلاوكتا تخانشي وچا انا تونا نكون تشنكونا مانا منا انا نكون تونا نلوزا هاي كتانا كو انا غبطان انا بلاويا بلاويا Okay, you're listening to KILI Storytelling Hour. We're coming to you from Porcupine Butte, 90.1 on your FM, 88.7 in Rapid City, and KILIRadio.org on the internet. And thank you for listening. And some of you are just now getting on the road to your home, while you are driving, while you are on the road. Thank you for listening to the Storytelling Hour and Kilo Radio. And then I want to thank Lloyd. He's here every evening, and I want to thank him and Kilo Radio. And I want to thank Kilo for this hour. I come up here every Wednesday from 5 to 6 and share a story, announcements, always the Lakota language. And this evening, I want to, before I forget, I want to, every Wednesday when I come up here, I always say good evening to Charlie up in Martin. And so Tom is probably on his way back to Pine Ridge. I saw him pick up at the school. Tom, if you're listening, have a good evening, and we'll see you again. And Baha, if you're listening, and to my wife Karen, she's probably on her way back from Rosebud. So thank you for listening. This evening I have a short story, and I have some. It's a timeline, but this afternoon I did this with the 8th graders, and they were really interested, and I thought I would share this with you this evening. And then later on, when Dylan comes in here, we're going to talk about language. So, my name is Brian Charging Cloud, and come up here every Wednesday from 5 to 6 with a story, some announcements, and always a touch on always the Lakota language. So before I forget, the powwow scheduled for Manderson, Chankpeopi, Wounded Knee District School, scheduled for Friday, is rescheduled. It's going to be April 27th. So write that down. It's Trechawa Chipi Okolakichi. So it's been rescheduled till next month, April 27th. So write that down on your schedule. And let's see, that's the only announcement I have from the school. And I was looking through my notes, and I wanted to share this little. It's about storytelling, and it's written by Joseph Marshall. So, and the title of it is "What is Storytelling?" And I think I heard this before, but I wanted to do this again. What is storytelling? The stories each illustrate a virtue that within Lakota culture is essential to balance and happiness. To the Lakota, virtues such as humility, respect, sacrifice, and honesty carry a different weight and substance than they do in Western culture. For us, these qualities are not so much elusive goals as they are essential parts of everyday life. Now, I underline that. Now, they might be elusive goals, but they are everyday life to us. They are instilled in us as firmly and as specifically as American courtesies, like saying please and thank you, or bless you, after someone sneezes. At some point, we are supposed to be the things we learn in the stories: compassionate, honorable, and bravery. We know this because the storytellers live the lessons they impart in their stories, and they practice what they preach. They are compassionate, they are honorable, and they are brave and wise. The stories were and are the foundation of Lakota culture. There is nothing more important. It isn't that we don't care about physical comfort or material possessions. It is because we don't measure ourselves or others by those things. We believe we are measured by how well or how little we manifest virtue in our life's journey. Just wanted to share that. I really like this. I got this from one of the Joseph Marshall books. And the title of that was "What is Storytelling?" So I thought, takun kehata hina hani chin la Lakota keha o gana upike he taku oraka pehana le apetu yohila le o upikele fazop kos vuichak nisnakona chintak dana uhamtalena le vakhanja le tiwahe kilina wanchakapi etana bonspe ichup rachanda lechase aka bila petela as bila это таку le bracho, таку ота ивлукчо. Хош le вичоники лейчо. Таку хош и ечок ампикела на двойни пажежу киш. Если я пажежу акиш. Талина хош le такожа ниш на мичингши ниш транжа чунхабена. На это капина это вануспичу. Это воаблесичу. Ниш воиваке. Талина токиш купикеле левояке келена это ичупина якап. Хайчасе. Не калиатач. Аконка лехтатка вайнака. Хани. Хош хектака варниет упаевая. Хани вспоминает на акуку на уанка. Чатакуку уаннака. Хани хош aku echunki na wainaka. Istakuku taku nishpon. Khan hohe thosh washityako in timeline up. So this evening I wanted to just briefly touch on some important dates and the first one is the period from 1871 to 1924, and the title of that is Allotment and Assimilation Era. And the first one that I underlined was in 1876, Battle of Little Bighorn. And I don't really have to go into that because we all know that date, 1876. And next one, this one here. Next one that I underlined was 1879, Carlisle Indian School. Now this is the beginning of that one word, assimilation. Okay, and the next one was 1880, civilization regulations. Now this one here, when they started the Carlisle School, that was to change our culture that's the start of the assimilation process. And then this 1880 regulation was to, see, it says here, it outlawed Indian religion, the practice of, say, Sundance or Inipi. So we actually came through these things back then. This was only like, say, 120 years, 130 years. And the next one that I underline is 1887. Now this afternoon, the 8th graders at the school, we had these on the wall, and I don't really get into it, but we just go through the title and what happened, just briefly what that means. And 1887 was General Allotment Act, and it's called Dawes Act. And what that did was all the surplus land, it says here, were given away. Now, and then after that, 1890. We all know what happened in 1890. Okay. And then the next page, in 1924, Indian Citizenship Act. 1924 is when we became citizens. Okay, and then the other one is from 1934 to 1960. 1934 is Indian Reorganization Act. That's when Parliament started the tribal councils. And then in 1953, some of us went through that. I didn't go through, but I think my sister went through that. Relocation. 1953 was called the relocation era. People were sent to places like Dallas, LA, Cleveland, and of course that's part of the Assimilation Act. And but the 1953 relocation is a lot of people came back. A lot of people went to these different cities and then they came back. So that was called I think it was one of the failures in those what they call acts. And then the other one I have here is 1960 to 1979. Okay, in that period, in 1972, the Indian Education Act came in. Okay, now this one here is really important. When you're a Lakota teacher, this is when the bilingual and bicultural programs came in. And this one went on until maybe even in the 90s. Okay, and then in 1973, you know what happened then. Wounded Knee occupation. Okay, and then let's see. Another one was in 1978 we have the American Indian Religious Freedom Act. Okay, and then let's see. Well, that is it. And then from 1979 to present. This one here I underline. This is another really important one in the language program. Now, 1972 was the bilingual, bicultural. In 1990, it's called the Native American Language Act. Okay? And this one here, it says here, the Congressional Act made policy to preserve, protect, and promote the rights and freedom of Native American use, practice of the American their languages. And then it says here, it'll be, I think they have curriculum in here too. It's going to be part of the school curriculum. So it this just happened, let's see, this is 2012 now. So that's just 20 years ago. When finally the Native American Language Act came in. And this is just recently. Okay. And then the last one I have, this one here is 1994. 1996 is when President Clinton authorized White House Initiative on Tribal Colleges and Universities within the Department of Education to continue the support and development of tribal colleges into the 21st century. That's in 1996. These are just important dates that we went through today. And the ones that are highlighted today was for the 8th graders. For maybe high school is a little different, but for the 8th graders, what I did was I highlighted the 1868 treaty. Then I just made a little map and told them that we went over and said the 1868 treaty was where the land where we settled was highlighted. They didn't say give us because it's already ours. And then we highlighted 1877 treaty. 1877 treaty is it's an agreement. It's not a treaty. It's an agreement to mine gold in the Black Hills. And that's all we didn't even go beyond that. But I'm sure a lot of these students, I told them to go home and talk to their parents and see if they know anything about this 1877 treaty agreement. And then we talked about the 1889 treaty. Okay, now, we didn't really get into it, read it, but 1889 treaty is when we were all put into reservations. And I think that started in 1887 with the Dawes Act. 1887, I think I mentioned that in this history, is that the Dawes Act, when we were put on these reservations, then that word surplus came in. And then they made I don't know how many acres, thousands of acres, surplus land. And they were sold to settlers. We wanted to just know, like, if someone says 1868 treaty, then they will know what that did. And then the 1877 treaty, 1889 treaty, the 1887 Dawes Act. I think we ran into just 5 treaties. So those are really important to know, and especially when you get into a high school. I'm sure they read the whole thing and try to understand it. I've been here for many years, and I still don't read the whole treaty. I don't. One time, Taoshi, Robert, and I, we used to talk about the 1868 treaty, but we stopped at Article 6. and never got into the 1877 treaty. We never got into the 1889 treaty. But those are very important events that we should know. And on the way up here, Dylan and I, he teaches 8th grade, and when he comes in here, he'll tell us what he teaches. But we were talking about the language, this Native American Language Act, 1990. Even people like, say, he went to school in Colorado, and we're here in South Dakota, and when we, like, over in some different parts of the country, like over there, they listen to English, they learn English, and then they're trying to learn Spanish. Over here, we speak English, and then we try to learn the Lakota language. And no matter where you are, it's very hard, because the English language is, right now, it's, to some people, it's their number one language, their tongue. It's their first language. And for us, like myself, my first language is Lakota, and then the second language is English. But the students that I teach, the only time some of them hear Lakota languages when they come into the school, when they come through that door at the school. And when they leave that door, then everything is English. And maybe even beyond that, the only time they hear the Lakota language is maybe when they come into my room, my classroom. When they go into the other classrooms, it's all in English. And we were talking about the immersion. And right now in Inlay, like, we call, I think, kindergarten, first grade, and second grade immersion, but it's not total immersion. It's not all Lakota through the whole day. It's Lakota and then English. So we actually, I was looking at this timeline thing. We're still doing, like back in 1972, the bilingual. But today we call it immersion. But we're doing the best we can to teach as much Lakota as possible. That's why we call it immersion. So when our children go into that school, everything is written in English. And like Dylan was telling me that when he went to school in Colorado, everything is in English, and then there's some Spanish written in some places. Like if you go on the airlines, if you ride an airplane, there's English language and then they have Spanish. But the other thing is, there's informal and there's formal. So sometimes like when you learn the Spanish language, they find themselves learning formal language. And I wonder if that's, and I think it is same as the Lakota language. We teach a lot of language, but maybe we are doing the same thing. Maybe we're formal. We're too formal. we're not teaching them the everyday Lakota language. Now, if you're a teacher, a Lakota teacher, then sit down and think about it. Even if you're a Lakota speaker, think about it. When you teach your children the Lakota language, do you teach the everyday language? Or maybe we're not realizing that we're too formal, like the Spanish. So like when you learn the Spanish language and you go to say Spain and you talk to the local people, they probably won't understand. And I wonder if it is like that here with the Lakota language. To me, I don't think it's the same. I think the way we teach it is the everyday language. But that's something to think about. That's really, and then sometimes each words, like one student told me that he was given 50 words, and they told him to look it up in the dictionary. And I don't think that's a way to learn the Lakota language. So words, like every day we look for different methodologies, and hopefully someday that we will make a Lakota speaker. So it's really hard. But we're trying. We're doing everything we can to make just one Lakota speaker, maybe two. And all schools are doing a really good job. And Friday, we're going to Pierre, and those of us that work with Oceti Sakowin, we are doing assessments. What we teach, we're going to assess, I think it's like at the third grade, second grade, fifth grade, and eighth graders, and the seniors, and see how well they understand what we're teaching. Well, that's another thing. Are we all on the same page? That's going to be the problem. Maybe I'm teaching my teaching may be different from Kyle. It could be different from Crazy Horse. Well, there's only like 6 schools that go to these meetings with Oceti Sakowin. Among them is one of them, Wounded Knee, Crazy Horse, St. Francis, Enemy Swim, and Sisseton. Who else? I mentioned Crazy Horse, Porcupine. Pine Sinte is one of them too. So maybe we're all doing something different, and then maybe the assessment will be different. We'll find that out Friday. And then of course the students, how well they take that test. It's not, maybe it isn't everyday language. Maybe it's formal language. We don't know. We'll find out. But it is really good. It's a really good, to me, it's something that needs to be done to find out how well our students are learning, what they are learning, how they are learning. So it's really important that we find out if our teachings are really like the third graders, the fifth graders, the seniors, the eighth graders. See if they're learning anything. And maybe from that, we will, as teachers, we will learn something. So that's, let's see, that is all I have. And there was only one announcement that I brought, and that was the power at Manderson is rescheduled to April 27th. And I think Dylan is really busy talking to Tom, so I wanted to give him a chance to say a few words, but we're pretty close to 6 o'clock now. So maybe next time I'll come with Dylan and we'll talk about immersion. So I will throw it back to Lloyd, and maybe he will play one of those tunes that bring back memories. I think he sits up here and remembers all those memories. So I want to say thanks to Lloyd. Pila Mayala.